Go ahead and call our meeting to order. First up tonight, we have approval of the agenda. If there's no reason to make any modifications, I'll seek a motion for approval.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
All right. Next up, we have approval of our minutes. We have our organizational meeting, which was on Monday the 2nd. And then our regular meeting and work session on December 3rd. If there's no need for changes of those, I'll seek a motion for approval. All three sets.
Look fine to me. So moved.
And a second.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Moving on now to administrative reports. I went to Casher's Glenville Fire Department holiday party, as well as the sheriff's Christmas party, and got to see a lot of people and thank them for all their hard work through the hurricane, and really just enjoy one another's company. So two great events. I know there's a lot of others out there. I wish I could make them all, but it's it seems like they're always on a Friday at like 6, so try and hit the ones I can. But I just wanted to thank those guys for having us out, and ladies, and for all their service.
I'd like to echo Mark's comments on the sheriff and emergency services.
Commissioners, have anything to report tonight? Okay. Moving on now to our county manager report, Mr. King.
In lieu of the agenda, I thought I would forego my report tonight, but if y'all have specific questions, I can answer them, but I will cover some of the things that I was going to talk about in the regular agenda, so I'll just forego my report.
Fine. Do we have anybody sign up for public comment tonight? Moving on now to the consent agenda, Ms. Fox.
The highlights for November. The general fund revenues collected to date is $38,960,115. That's 38.9% of the budget. So it's under where it should be by 2.77%. The expenditures are $36,304,297. That's 37.61% of budget. And they're also under 4.06%. The revenues are $2,655,818 more than the expenditures. The ad valorem taxes collected are 60.8% of budget at $27,534,025. The motor vehicle taxes, $723,762. That's 34.75% of budget. The prior year taxes, $166,338, it's 33.27% of the budget. We received the sales and use tax distribution in the amount of $2,196,390 for the month of November, which represented August sales. That's $49,495, or 2.41% less than we received in November of 2023. The Article 46 distribution was $224,891. And the average increase for the fiscal year at this point is down 0.59%. Landfill disposal fees, $1,838,196. That's 57.57% of budget. And the prior year disposal fees, $25,589. That's 31.99% of budget. The growth revenues we're tracking. The code enforcement is 13.09% above where the average is for the year, and the register of deeds is 6.75% above.
Questions for Ms. Fox? Okay, moving on now to the project ordinance amendment and the budget ordinance amendments.
The first amendment is a project ordinance amendment. It's an increase of $184,204.09. It's for the Whittier Quala Park project. The investment earnings is $20,000, and a transfer from General Fund 12 is $164,204.09. Be 87,000 of that's placed into contingency in the project, and site elements and site grading. The budget ordinance amendment for Fund 12 is to move the $164,204.09 from designated for future appropriation to transfer to Whittier Qualla Park. The next one is an addition of $8,500. The Department on Aging received a $7,500 Alliance for Green Heat grant, and we had veterans donations of $1,000. Final budget amendment is a Dogwood Health Trust grant of $20,000. That's an economic development fund, and it'll be used for contracted services. Any questions on the amendments?
Ma'am. Moving on now to the tax collector and refund reports.
For the month of November, the general taxes was $7,926,916.25. The rental vehicles, $1,999.56, and landfill, $765,734.31, for a total of $8,694,650.12. The delinquent taxes for the month was $34,443.67. So the total tax collections for November was $9,146,970.20, had $10,609.42 for refunds, and $1,004.23 for releases.
Questions for Ms. Fox? If not, I'll seek a motion to approve the consent agenda in its entirety.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? So carries. All right, moving on now to new business and the local child fatality prevention teams. And Mr. King.
This is a request by the Health Department. So traditionally, the local Child Fatality Task Force has been appointed by the Board of Commissioners in each jurisdiction at a local level. And in 2023, the state enacted, through the Appropriations Act of 2023, they made the choice now to either continue being local or do a regionalized approach for the local fatality task force. And so our recommendation from our health director and from the staff is to keep it local, that we do not want to engage with other counties around us to create a regional approach. We'd rather keep it local. So, and it has to be in a form of motion just to keep it local. So,
Is there a motion to keep our local child fatality prevention team local?
I'll make a motion.
And a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And none opposed. Moving on to offer to purchase and contract for the Moss property.
yes, so in your package, you've got a contract offer to purchase for the Moss property, and also is a copy of a map. It is a portion of the parcel that's identified, 4.03 acres, I believe.
Is it what's in the blue?
Yes.
Okay.
4.3 acres, sorry. And so this is one of the final pieces needed along the greenway. We have both adjacent, on either side, we already have one piece, and then we have a couple that's in transition in the switching over to county ownership. But this is the final piece that we needed in that section. So, purchase price is $425,000.
Or land?
Correct.
And where does that money come from, Ms. Fox?
be from the Greenway Fund. Funds are available in that fund.
Much movement as we've made on the Greenway in the last 6, 8 months. This is gonna be a huge addition to that. So if there's a motion to approve,
So moved.
and a second?
I'm coming in on the tail end of this, but it sounds like something we gotta do.
Well, to connect the pieces, we do.
Right. I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on now to communication tower lease agreement.
This is an item that I'd brought up at the previous work session, and this is for a tower agreement. I did make one clarification. This is Lynn Lowry Tower, which is on the Transylvania Haywood County line along with Jackson, so, and not where, I think I mentioned Kings Mountain, but it was wrong mountain. So still the same type of infrastructure that we need for emergency services.
That end of the county, not.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Is there a motion to approve this tower lease agreement?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
None opposed. All right, moving on now to Cherokee Enterprises, contract for Whittier Qualla Park.
So this is the contract with the low bidder of the Cherokee Qualla Park. I'm sorry, Qualla Whittier Park. And trying to get the exact amount. The contract price is $1,962,393, and it'll be with Cherokee Enterprises of 1371 Oconee Road in Cherokee.
And how many bids did we get for this?
5.
5? Do you know who they were?
Bid sheet. You have a bid sheet, Mike?
Parker, like as in Doug Parker or Parker Paving?
It was Barker out of Old
Excuse me,
Fort.
sorry about that, Barker. I'm used to the local name.
Is there a motion to approve the contract?
Do we know when the start date is supposed to be?
Ready to go right now, so as quick as we get the notice to proceed.
Motion to move forward with the contract.
A second?
They do have a year to complete the project.
And bid bond and, okay. Is there a second to approve the contract?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. All right, next up is setting a joint meeting with the Board of Education on February 6th at 6 PM at the Burrell Building on Southwest Community College's campus.
Purpose of this meeting would be to talk about all the different school projects that we've got up and coming, and so just to kind of solidify a step forward. First, we thought a good meeting with the Board of Education to kind of get the intent of each of the projects, and then we can kind of come up with a scope and a funding plan for each one of them.
Is there a motion to approve this joint meeting on February 6th at 6 PM?
So moved.
And a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Moving on now to our recreation center fee schedule. updates.
Kind of defer to Michael, I believe, on this one to talk with us about the fee schedule update. And I think it's been an issue with I guess what do you call it, dry, sorry. The wet and dry, each side of the aquatic center, since this is new. And so this funding fee schedule combines those together, where it's easier, where we don't have to have like a turnstile to let people go in one or the other. They can just go in both of them. And so this fee schedule simplifies that for staff and for the customers, so.
Within the fee schedule, I know this is gonna already come up in every elementary school's birthday party program. Do we know what, that's gonna be yet? For the pool?
I see we still have wet and dry and then a combo. What's the difference between?
Those are showing just the previous, what the current.
Be the combo pass price, okay.
We took the combo price and discounted it by basically 15%, so it would
Equal the wet or
equal
dry
both
pass,
of them.
okay.
Originally came to this too. We're dependent upon high school kids, college kids to kind of control. You don't want to ask of a high school kid when you've got 200.
Is there a motion to approve the new fee schedule for the recreation center?
So moved.
Second? Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
None opposed. Moving on now to legislation and resolution R24-13, supporting the Blue Ridge Parkway.
This is a resolution that a lot of counties are passing, and especially Western North Carolina, since the Blue Ridge Parkway does come through our region, and it does offer a significant impact to our economy. And so this resolution is in support of funding for repairs, implementation of the Blue Ridge Rising Strategic Plan, collaboration and support for local, state, and federal officials to collaborate with the Blue Ridge Parkway Foundation, and coalition creation, basically, of all elected officials in the region. And this is just a resolution that we will send to federal and state representatives to get their input as well, and to possibly help the Blue Ridge Foundation to achieve their mission.
We're not putting forth any money or
Now, there's no money attached to this. This is
Okay.
just a cursory resolution.
Is there a motion to pass the resolution for the Blue Ridge Parkway?
Yeah,
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hooker,
Yes.
Commissioner Gandy,
yes.
Chairman Watson.
Yes. Moving on to resolution R24-14, appointing review officers, and Mr. King.
This resolution is pretty much a standard resolution. We do have review officers that in any deed or any, I guess, plat that comes in, it has to be reviewed by county personnel. This basically establishes that those people that are certified to do a review officer task. And so each time, you'll see these probably multiple times over the years, because people will change and things like that. But this is a standard. And it's basically goes into effect December the 7th. Tabitha Ash, Kimberly Hooper, Leanne Pate, and Jennifer Jones would be the new officers.
Questions from the board? If not, I'll seek a motion for approval of this resolution.
These were recommended by Tabitha.
Correct, yes.
Okay. So moved.
And a second?
A second.
Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Jennings,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Hooker,
Yes.
Chairman Watson.
Yes. And then finally, we have a resolution setting regular meeting schedule. We've kind of gone over that in our early meetings, but just the time, date, location. And if there's no opposition to those meetings, seek a motion for approval.
I make a motion to approve it.
And a second?
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hooker,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Jennings,
Yes.
Chairman Watson.
Yes. Moving on now to appointments. We've got quite a few appointments to boards. Some of those are individuals willing to serve again. Up first is Airport Authority, and Mr. Rowell is looking to extend his term. If there is no objection to that, I'll seek a motion for Mr. Powell, or Mr. Rowell, to continue serving.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Next up, we have the Cemetery Board. We've got a couple of vacancies. We've got one application in Mr. Kiever. Trying to see. So we'll have one more additional vacancy. If there's no objections to appointing Mr. Kiever, whose application was approved, I'll seek a motion for that approval.
I make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Going on now, we've got a sheet for Fireman's Relief Fund Board of Trustees. We've got Mr. McMahon, Mr. Messer, Mr. Farmer, Mr. Brown, Mr. Denton, and Mr. Moore, all to be reappointed. And with no objection from me, I'll seek a motion for approval.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. All right. Moving on now to our Health Board. We have Ms. Lippert, our Health Director, has appointed, or recommends appointment of Dr. LeMay to replace Dr. McGuire. If there are no objections to this appointment.
Dr. McGuire, he retired, right? Yeah.
This will be for the remainder of his term.
Right.
So,
Which-
Is this to the overall health board?
yes.
Yeah, it's required
They
that
just both happen to be dentists?
No, Dr. McGuire is stepping down and Dr. LeMay is,
No, I
There's
know,
gotta
but-
be-
But there has to be one dentist?
has to be
I
one
got you.
Yeah, there's
dentist. Like a
I
list
got-
of different.
There's just legislative makeup of the
Yeah.
board
Yeah.
that
One
has to be.
position, one environmental engineer, one, there's a whole,
Okay,
You gotta have a veterinarian on the health board.
Yeah.
they probably know more than a lot.
Yeah, sometimes.
well, with no objections, is there a recommendation to,
Yeah, so moved.
and a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Moving on to the Planning Board. And Mr. Posen has recommended reappointment of Ms. Crespo and Mr. Shepherd.
Have one more,
Mr. Gunter.
Mr. Gunter, that was,
Okay.
filling there's a vacant seat, is that correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have several vacancies.
Yeah.
Several that could be reappointed.
He's over the electrical department at Western, so he'll be a good addition.
Okay. So with that, is there
We have to do them individually or do them all three?
we can do all three at the same time. For Mr. Shepherd, Ms. Crespo, and Mr. Gunter to all be appointed to the Planning Board for the county.
I move that we appoint all three to the planning board.
And a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
None opposed. All right. Solid waste. We have one applicant, Mr. Kiever, who is willing to serve, another who is willing to serve, but Mr. Woods, he's serving another term, and we have Miss Fode, who is rolling off. So is there a motion to carry, or a motion for Mr. Kiever and Mr. Woods to both serve on the Solid Waste Board?
Make a motion.
Okay, and a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Moving on to the TDA,
So was Fode not eligible?
she didn't want to reserve.
Okay.
which is fine. So we have another opening there. I spoke with Mr. Breedlove after our last meeting, and regarding kind of how they came to Ms. Peters being on the Tourism Development Authority, and she's gone through extensive amount of vetting, background checks, and conflict of interest. Ms. Peters serves more as an economic developer, not necessarily tourism development. So if there are no objections, I do recommend Ms. Peters to be on the TDA.
As I said before, and I've talked to several people in my district, they still think the optics of it looks bad as a conflict.
Is there any way we could table this again?
That's what I'd
That's
like
fine.
to do, is table it.
So we'll table this. Lastly, we have the US 441 Corridor Planning Council. Mr. Poston recommends all recipients, or all members of that board be reappointed. Is there a motion to approve all members of the board?
So moved.
And a second?
I'll second it. What is the 441 Planning Council?
It's kind of like the Cashers and McCullough Small Area Planning Council. What's the,
Is it the one going to Cherokee?
Yeah, so this is the area we're in right now.
Just 441.
It's the Gateway Corridor, basically.
It goes all the way down towards Cowee, a little ways.
Actually, this one just goes from the
Okay.
Gateway exit and moves kind of east towards to the boundary, to the Qualla boundary.
Okay.
And Shoal Creek, it goes up a little bit of Shoal.
Yeah.
Just the roads, but it kind of just
Right.
swamps this area in.
Right, okay.
And this council helps guide the discussions about the things going on and activity going on within the zoned area.
I know we have one vacancy for EBCI. The other vacancy, is it just at large or has never been filled, or?
And the EBCI one is one we kind of softened a little bit to say if there was anybody available, and it was really just to connect that piece back to the tribe, but, just that one's been hard to fill over the years and to keep filled with movement, but ideally, we'd love to have tribal,
He's been expired 3 years, so.
Yeah, and then there is another vacancy
Yeah.
on board as well.
Okay.
So another one could be appointed to this board?
Correct, and the only, with our planning councils, the rules that we follow is they have to either live within the district, own property within the district, or own a business within the district.
Motion to approve the 441 Gateway District Community Planning Council.
I make a motion to approve the 441 district.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
None are opposed. Any questions from the press tonight? One day.
Someday.
Yeah. With,
You know, someday the New York Times is gonna be on
I'm
there.
telling you, Wall Street Journal,
Yeah.
GQ for us.
Well, maybe for you.
No.
I'm old for GQ.
With no further business, I do want to remind everyone that we have our regularly scheduled meeting at 6 PM on January 7th. And then our work session is immediately following that at 6:30. And then our regular meeting on January 21st at 6:30 PM. We'll be back at the Justice Center off of Grindstaff. And I wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a safe holiday. And if there's No?
Have we got the 2 locations for the first and second quarter community meetings?
And, the Balsam community, we're thinking the fire department.
Have we contacted them yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
With no further business, is there a motion for adjournment?
Make a motion to adjourn.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All none opposed, we are adjourned.